So you'll have 2 posts on your presentation. You labeled the secondary claims and the main claim pretty clearly, and you're going after the argument in a lot of detail. Here's a problem. This might be a good argument for a written presentation, but it's a very complicated argument for an oral presentation, because on each of these things you're using the terminology of the fallacies instead of simply explaining what the issue is. I think that on the last one you were clearest, because you were talking about counterclaims where there's some other explanation as to what the effect of, or what the source of the price increases is, and I think that that applies pretty well. Everything else, you get involved in a couple of formulas that go on for a minute by themselves, and by the time you get to the end of that, I'm not sure anybody knows exactly what you're saying. You basically have reduced the amount of money per ticket, for instance, in that middle section, the 35%, 45%, and 25%, you reduce the amount of money that you're talking about, but the proportions that are going to the organizations, Ticketmaster and Live Nation, are still the same. So it's, you know, they're getting 2 to 3 times as much as the venue's getting or the artist is getting. That seems to still be the case. It seemed a little odd. The one source that you cited was testimony in 1994. Now, you cited that person 2 more times. I'm not sure if it's from the same year, but 1994 delivery of the tickets is substantially different, and some of the fees that they're talking about I think are a little problematic. This would be one of those great situations where if we had a debate going on here, it would be interesting to come back and point out that the person who is giving the justification for all of these things is the head of the organization that benefits from all of these particular things. Imagine that the guy who is the director of Ticketmaster is saying, hey, our prices are justified. You know, how believable is that? You know, their credibility's on the line here. I like the analysis that you had, but I think it's a little complex for an oral presentation. The citations of the structure, though, are pretty good, and you have good declarative statements on those points, but the explanations, I think, work better as a written argument than an oral argument. All right, thank you.